What's going on, everybody? Guys, we are back with an update to a story I did the last video. He responded quickly when I told him to go ahead and send in his story about mental illness mental health. Mental health. He had went through some mental health issues. So, guys, if you don't know the story I'm talking about, if you are new to the channel or whatever, it's the last video, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it first and let it lead into the second part for you guys. So you don't have to go jumping around. It'll be right here. But if you want to go down to the description and go straight to this update, you can go down there and click update. But this is the story where the guy he dated, he called his wife Jezebel. She complained about their living condition. She wanted more, right? He even talked about a woman previous to that he dated that went through some stuff. Like she put him through crap, and the karma that woman experienced, woo. And it seems like Jezebel experienced karma as well. But if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, check it out. I'll play it first. But if you know exactly what I'm talking about, you listen to the last story, go down to the description, click update so you don't have to hear it again. Unless you want to hear it all the way through, do what you want to do. But let's just get into it. My ex-wife came crawling back 2 years ago. I basically told her to F off, and I hadn't heard from her since. Hello, true story. It's wild how these deceitful lying bees will have the nerve to come crawling back to a good thing once they realize their market value is gone. My 40-year-old wife, Jezebel, left me years ago, during the pandemic. Completely disappeared, but left her laptop at our shared home. With snooping, I eventually found out where she was, and I had her serve divorce papers. She signed them, and she complied. The divorce happened, and her butt came crawling back a couple years later. I did feel a bit sad when I saw her, but I don't know. But she has seemed to have lost her mind. You'll see. Here's my story. First off, true story, I have to thank you for the platform you've provided for us men all around the world. I heard an email you read, and the guy was from France. And another video where the guy was from somewhere in Africa. That's incredible, man. Talk about reach. Not only you, but other channels also. You know, similar ones. Keep rocking out, my dude. All right, let's start from the beginning. My ex-wife fought hard to get me. At the time, I was pretty sure I had zero interest in marriage or even a relationship. I'd got cheated on by my ex 2 years prior to meeting my ex-wife, Jezebel. I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell about that crazy situation, huh, True? So I'll call that girl. I'm not saying that. True, if you can't use that word, feel free to call her W. Okay, we'll call her W. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can figure out what he's calling her. So I dealt with W for 4 years. Supposedly serious monogamous relationship. W and I decided to become monogamous once we started discussing moving in together. The day we moved in was 3 years into our relationship. I went into this relationship with W trusting everything. I'd never look at her phone or go through it, even if she did silly crap like leave the volume all the way down so it didn't ring and putting it face down. Even though my gut was telling me to focus more on that, I ignored it. I remember feeling like I was in my head too much and I needed to relax. So I did. I ignored obvious sneaky behavior. So I take half blame for that failed relationship. I really do. I let her slide with her bullcrap. W probably figured she could do that, what she wanted, and she's just really good at hiding stuff. I practically gave her the courage to continue being that way. W probably thought, I'm good at this. I'll just be even better next time. I did learn that W cheated on her next boyfriend because that new boyfriend is cousins with my buddy. That boyfriend went to jail after discovering W cheating on him in his own apartment. Wow. So W and I started living together. Things were pretty good, and after about a month, W wanted to quit working and be cared for. I told her that wasn't part of the arrangement. Yes, I was a 50-50 man. I figured if we aren't married, then I have no reason to be funding everything for you. And thank God I stood on that. She'd bring it up, then let it go, but it always would come up again. W started telling me how her one friend who dated a drug dealer made sure she didn't have to pay for anything. And if I want her, W, to start cooking more, then I need to be a man and pay all of the bills. When the lease was up, W moved out. W and I actually broke up because she told me she could do bad all by herself. We weren't doing bad at all. Both had great vehicles and place to stay, food in the fridge. W wanted to take trips and shop more. She'd get ticked off when I didn't give her money to get new hairstyles and nails painted. I'd do it on occasion, but she'd again compare me to the dealer, stating that he does it for her friend every other week and even funded the girls' trip they went on. Wow. So I had no idea about this. I knew about the girls' trip, but I didn't know this guy funded it, and he went along with some of his buddies. You know what went down. I told W we were done. Omitting information is still lying, and W acted as if she was okay with the breakup. Until 30 days later, W calls me saying she misses me and can't believe our relationship went so far downhill. I told her it's okay, you live and you learn. She then starts suggesting she come over and, blow me. I kept acting as if I didn't want it, but man, true story, I was beyond horny, man. I hadn't had any since before she left. My D was drier than Popeye's biscuits, drier than Nature's Valley's granola bars. Dude, what? Bars are kind of dry. Dang, dude. I eventually said to W, get your butt over here. It's not going to suck itself. She came immediately, but said she was on her cycle, so we couldn't do more. True story, I punished her throat. Sorry if I'm being too graphic, but I went crazy on her, man. She seemed to like it and was asking what lady brought out this rough side in me. She slept over and in the morning was asking if she could move in. She started complaining about her loft apartment downtown being too expensive. I had no idea she moved into a loft apartment. I told her no, and we should move slow if we want to get back together. She then was asking if I can pay half of her rent next month. I told her no, absolutely not. Got angry and started crying, saying I used her and that wasn't right, and she stormed out. I was terrified she may say I assaulted her or something. She didn't, but she came crawling back again, and we ended up dating a bit longer before she finally snapped on me because I wouldn't pay for anything of hers. She told me that's why she was cheating on me and how her and her friends all had their way with the guys on that girls' trip, the one that I mentioned earlier. I figured so, but it didn't hurt me anymore. I was happy she was leaving. She was barely giving me bedroom action anyway, so I figured she possibly was cheating on me. I told her to go be free and how I didn't care. Days after, she proceeded to text, call me, and even show up at my apartment with another man asking if she can grab some shirts that she left over. And I went and grabbed the shirts and I threw them on the ground in front of her and Mr. Macho Man. Macho Man told me to step out so he could kick my butt. I went for my waist and pulled out my weapon and proceeded to tell him that I don't fight, but I will defend myself. W's new bodyguard threw his hands up, then backed off and took off running. W was ticked, and that was the last I saw of her. But I was told by my buddy that she got beat up really bad by his cousin. So they were dating for some months, and W had the audacity to use my buddy's cousin's apartment to cheat on him in his bed. My buddy told me he and other family went over to the apartment to clean it out, and blood was all over the walls in the bedroom. My buddy said he couldn't believe W didn't get unalived. Apparently, my buddy's cousin pistol whipped her, And the man even did it in front of his own 5-year-old son and told his son that's how you treat a bee for disrespecting you. My buddy said his cousin admitted to everything and said that he told the law enforcers that he had his son watch and told him this is how you treat a disrespectful 304. I wouldn't wish any harm on anyone, man, but she definitely tried the right one. Maybe he whipped her into shape and she'll either stay single so she can always mingle or do right by someone in a committed relationship. Dang, dude. Why so insensitive? My buddy's cousin got 6 years in prison and their family has full custody of the son. Yep, crazy, I know, but let me tell you about my ex-wife, Jezebel. So I met Jezebel sometime after W. Jezebel was very attractive. She's completely lost her mind and has gotten into drugs again. Yes, again. When I met her, I didn't know she was in recovery. No one told me so. I had no idea. Not a single person in her family. I found out years later after our divorce. So meeting her, I couldn't tell that she had done meth prior. I know it sounds crazy, but no signs at all. She's gorgeous with a gorgeous body, yet and still, I made her work to get me. I kept it P the entire time we knew each other before we got serious. The more I walked away from her and turned down a relationship, the more she pursued me. True story, I'm not the best looking guy. I'm tall but skinny, with glasses, biracial man. Nothing special about me at all. Never was athletic, not the funniest or the smartest. I'm just regular. But turning Jezebel down made her want me more and more. She knew my stance on splitting bills and even going Dutch on dates before we got serious. She completely agreed. She paid for dates and I'd pay too. It was never an issue. She assumed I had multiple women and that's why I didn't want to settle down with her. In all actuality, true story, I didn't have a single chick outside of Jezebel. When I met her, I just stopped dealing with a woman that moved out of the country. She was in the Air Force. Jezebel would always say, I'm going to outdo all of them. You'll choose me, I know you will. The whole time, I didn't confirm that I had all these other chicks, but I definitely did not deny it and say it wasn't true. Anyway, Jezebel won me over. She put in the work for sure, cooking for me, coming over to clean, and eventually I became monogamous with her. To skip a lot of other things, we ended up marrying down the line. I was for sure I did things the correct way, to get a wife to obey me. Boy, was I wrong. Jezebel never wanted to quit her job, even after marrying. She was okay with splitting everything down the middle, until some of her girlfriends got in her ear and told her a man should pay for everything, like their men did. Here comes this crap again. How is this happening again? She even had her girlfriend's husband gang up on me at a get-together once. That was the last straw for me. Clearly for her as well, because the sneaking around started. We were having an amazing time at one of our friends' houses. It was 3 different couples there. My wife sits and brings up this question asking the other husband, hey guys, can you teach my husband how to be the perfect husband like you all? I don't want to work. I want to rest in my feminine energy like your wives. I'm so jealous of you guys. Give him a pep talk. And then she looked over at me and just stared. And I looked at everyone else and everyone is just staring at me. This was the most uncomfortable, annoying thing in the world. I wanted to blow up, but I kept my composure for a while. Until Bonehead started talking. Bonehead was one of the husbands. He said, why do you make your wife work? You guys don't even have children. You live in an apartment. You can't afford the apartment on your own? You need help with that small 2-bedroom apartment? My wife chimes in, and that's another thing. He doesn't want to get me a house, which was a lie. I said we should save up and properly buy the house, like putting 20% down and not using this FHA loan where you only put 3% down or something like that. I told her, no, I want to do 20% down. It'll be better for us. I did the math. This is what I wanted. This is the type of house. This is the cost. Everything. She went against it. All of it. That's too little of a house. It's too cheap. I want something bigger. Again, we didn't have children, and we didn't plan on having children. Then comes Bonehead, I told him to mind his freaking business. The way I run my household is how I want to run my household. He said, dude, it's an apartment. I stood up and I was about to punch this man in his face. But the other guy stopped me. Calm down. We had a little bit too much to drink, guys. It doesn't have to get physical, guys. Calm down. And another guy told Bonehead to stop it. He did for a bit. I looked at everybody, and then I told him, I don't see anything wrong with 50-50 relationships. I'm not completely against it, though. The man paying 100% of everything. I just don't like how my wife came into this relationship acting as if 50-50 was okay. Both the husband and wife putting into the household. I told her, if you truly don't want to work, then we could try to figure something out. But I think this is a little messed up that you just brought this on me. And I hate the fact that you brought this up here in front of everyone. She says, oh my gosh, really? So I can quit now? I said, no, let's ease into it. Take some time. Maybe you drop down the part-time. We ease into it and see how it goes. She gets angry again. This is what I'm talking about. What was I thinking? I thought I married a man. I looked at her and I told her, that better be the alcohol talking. She quickly shut up, and Bonehead chimed in again. Dude, you don't have to talk to your wife like that. I told Bonehead, if he says one more thing to me tonight, I don't care what it is. I'm gonna knock him the F out. Bonehead did not speak to me the rest of the time. We stayed an extra 40 minutes after that, and then we left. My wife wouldn't speak to me the whole ride home. She was truly upset. So it started, guys. I started noticing her ways. She was being sneaky with her phone. She was staying late for work. She was going to work early, like several hours early in the morning. But she said she had to do it. She wanted to get extra hours because she wanted to help save up for this 20% to put down on our home, because she really wants a home. At least she should get that. But she was lying, guys. She was cheating. I didn't find out until she just disappeared. So one day, I'm at home. I got home before her. I cooked dinner and everything. She never came home, guys. My wife just disappeared. I was so scared. I thought something had happened to her. My first thought was, is she okay? I called her job, nothing. I kept ringing her office phone and someone in the office picked it up. They were staying a little late. They said that my wife wasn't there. And I said, hey, this is her husband. Who am I speaking with? And it was one of her colleagues that I had met a couple times. And he told me that my wife has not been in for a couple days. She took the week off already. I said, what? My wife took off work? And she didn't tell me? Okay. So I hung up. I started blowing up my wife's phone. Everything. Nothing. No text messages. Nothing. She completely abandoned me. About a month went by before I even looked into her laptop that she left at home. I'm going through it. I got into it. I figured out her password, and yep, she had been cheating on me for quite some time. She understood that I was not going to allow her to just quit her job and not work. So that's when she turned it up and started getting really, really frisky with this man. This guy promising her that he's going to take care of her. They're going to be together and she never has to work. He's going to buy her a nice fancy car. Stupid stuff. My wife monkey branched to a man she thought would help her because I didn't work out for her. Reading through things and finding out the guy, his full name, I found out exactly where he lived. I had her serve divorce papers. I went to the lawyer and told them everything. The lawyer was telling me that she abandoned the home. Well, the apartment. I wasn't allowed to call my apartment a home according to Bonehead. I had her served, and I hadn't spoken to her, but my lawyer did speak with her lawyer. They got in touch with him and he told me that she was cooperating and she wanted to divorce. She wasn't trying to take anything from me. It's not like I had anything, just a little apartment. We ended up divorcing and I went on with my life, man. It was a little sad. It hit me a little bit. It just did, man. It threw me off. At the end of the day, yes, we both were paying bills, and it wasn't like the bills were extremely high, but we both were paying bills. But I did things for her as well. I'd buy her things. I took her shopping. I did things for her that I didn't do for girls like W. I think if I would have given her the opportunity to stay home and not have to work, she would have just wanted more and more. I could have given her the house she wanted, the stay-at-home wife status she wanted. But she would have wanted more, like trips. I need more trips. I need more trips outside of the country. It'll never end. I kind of did go into a depression, though, at that time. I was laid off from my job, but it didn't last long. They laid me off out of fear. They thought things were going to go south because of the pandemic, but they noticed that things didn't go wrong or go bad, so they hired me again. Things were good. I stayed for a while, but still, my wife abandoned me. I was alone. I was working from home, and it's like I could never go anywhere without wearing a stupid mask, and it was just annoying. I couldn't handle it. I really started going into depression, and I found this group on Facebook that was connected to the local college. I was able to join this group. We also had our own one-on-one therapist. I tell you, this man really, really helped me out. I truly needed that. He got me through it. That group got me through it. Everything. We did everything online, of course, but it was amazing. Maybe I'll write a part 2 and tell you all about that experience. Men's mental health is very important, and I know it's not considered by many, but it should be thought of. So just last year, guess who came crawling back to my place? Not the same apartment, but somehow she found out exactly where I was living. I got a condo, well, a townhouse. She showed up looking awful, almost unrecognizable. I couldn't believe it was her. Jezebel? Is that you? Yes, it's me. I'm so sorry. She was asking me if she could come inside, and I said, F no. Leave. Don't ever show up here again. True story, she was so ugly, she could make onions cry. I slammed the door and watched her from my window. This woman sat in her car and cried for an hour straight, bawling. I later discovered that her affair partner dumped her, and they both started using meth. By the way, her AP was friends with one of the husbands at that get-together I spoke about. What happened to bros over 304s anyway? Obviously, I didn't take her back. I have zero desire for marriage or a relationship. I don't want anything to do with it. Hopefully you can find my story useful, true story. Take care, good sir. Wow. Dude, salute to you, man. I'm glad you got through it, dude. You said it just got tough, during the pandemic. Who doesn't remember those times, guys? Man, just being stuck in the house. I remember that, man. That was wild. But yeah, she just abandoned you, She's complaining to her friends. Oh, he's not being a real man. Tell him, guys, gang up on him. She really thought that was going to work? I'm surprised you didn't serve her after that. I would have been ticked off. I'm not going to give you what you want if you do all that. Like, you could really, even if we had the conversation and I said, nah, I think we should keep the relationship how it is, right? You can at least sit down with me again. Like, you are my wife. You can talk to me and ask me questions with another solution. Okay, what if we do it this way? What if I help out with this and we start a business and I run it from home and I just don't want to be in the office? Like, I do get that, but you went into the relationship kind of tricking him. You should have put that out there at first. Like, be upfront in the beginning. I really don't want to work. I want a man to take care of me. Most men will probably walk away from you. But like, just be upfront. Just be upfront. You'll be surprised. Maybe you'll find somebody that'll do it. But I'm surprised you didn't divorce her when she had them gang up on you. And yeah, I would have punched Bonehead in the face too. I wish you would have. I'm not gonna lie. I wish in this story you would have punched him in his face. He probably was doing something with your wife, you know? Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. And she had the nerve to come crawling back. I need help. Yeah, that dude kicked you out, or you guys spent all your money on drugs. She came right back to the thing, to what she complained about. It wasn't good enough. Now that she has nothing, oh, you're good enough now. See how that works? So messed up, dude. So messed up. Man, thanks for sending in this story. I really enjoyed it. All right, so update on Jezebel in my mental health journey. True story. I surely will share my mental health journey with you and your audience. I also did see the comments when you read my story. I appreciate you getting to my email and reading it. I wasn't sure if you saw it or not. It's so cool to share my story with you and your audience. Before I get into my mental health journey, I'll first add that I learned that Jezebel, my ex-wife, and by the way, Jezebel is obviously a fake name. I saw someone say, well, her name was Jezebel. What did you expect? Anyway, I learned that Jezebel is now in jail, but before being arrested, her family put her into a rehab facility, some sort of rehab resort in California. I looked it up and this place looks amazing and it's pretty pricey. She was there for 1 week only before going to jail. So everything I know, Jezebel got caught having sex with one of the other patients. Apparently, there's rules against this. When she was caught or confronted by one of the staff, Jezebel viciously attacked them and cut the woman's face open with a broken lamp. Dang! And then knocked her out with a bottle of liquor. How she managed to get liquor inside, I have no idea. Jezebel is currently in jail, and apparently she also mentioned to a family member how she should have appreciated me and that her life is in shambles without me. I'm not excited that she's doing horrible. Some would call it karma. I don't know. I'm not sad either. I guess I don't care too much, it's indifference. I also have to tell you all about W, the woman I dated before Jezebel. W is now an escort. My buddy showed me her ads and everything. She got a BBL and all. It looks good, but I wouldn't touch her anymore. My buddy showed me her Facebook and she travels a lot, obviously, because of her profession. Man, I sure did know how to pick 'em, right? Here's the interesting thing, though. She has pictures with this big black guy in a lot of her pictures, and they are clearly a couple. My buddy thinks he's her pimp or maybe boyfriend or bodyguard. Hopefully not like the bodyguard she came to my place with when she needed to pick up some shirts and I threw them at her and the guy she was with took off running scared. That was funny. So that's that. Let's get into the importance of men's mental health. Men's mental health is important. Mental health is important all around, but I specifically want to talk about us men who are easily forgotten about. Ironically, true story, you read my email in the month of June, which is also Men's Mental Health Month. Hopefully you see this and add to the story. Us men really go through it, and just imagine if I was going through my wife abandoning me during the pandemic, plus I was fired from my job. I stumbled upon this group on Facebook, and the group was created by male psychology students at the local college. These guys plan to open up facilities, brick and mortar, and online for men only, focusing on men's mental health and helping men navigate through tough times. I joined the group because I needed someone to talk to. I felt trapped in my apartment. I'll admit to you all, I cried when my ex-wife just abandoned me. I wish I would have been more alpha like some of you in the comments and poured up some scotch to celebrate. Called over a few hotties and threw myself a party. Yeah, the bee is gone. Wasn't like that with me though. I felt defeated. Getting the call that I was laid off hurt on top of everything. I was asking God, why me? I started reading the Bible, wondering if I'd done something wrong. What does the Bible say about marriage, about love, and how a man should treat his wife? I thought maybe I should have had the mindset of a happy wife, happy life, but unless I missed it, I didn't find that specifically in the Bible. It pretty much confirmed that my wife was going against something she believed in most. She was the hardcore Christian, but she's the one that did everything wrong. So I started praying, trying to receive answers, and I thought I got nothing. But then I realized I was guided by something to jump on Facebook, and I saw that post from that men's mental health group. I joined and started liking a lot of their posts and saw a sign up link to join. It was free. We'd meet Mondays, Wednesday, and Friday. We all told our personal stories and got vulnerable, man. One dude who actually stopped joining, and no one knows whatever happened to him. His wife had also just left him, and he discovered his 3 girls, a set of twins, and another girl that were not his at all. He was excited because twins run in his family, so he was sure it was his. The twins were 13 and a 7-year-old. That's not the worst of it, though. They were his brother's kids. His own blood brother was having an affair with his wife. The guy this happened to, name was Jack. Jack really broke down when he told us the girls weren't his. Jack's wife managed to get alimony because she decided to quit working after the 7-year-old was born. The alimony was temporary because according to Jack, but he told us that he'd have to jump through hoops in order to sue his brother, saying that the money was extremely tight. None of us could understand why he was ordered to pay alimony when this B lied about the kids. These judges are evil. We all were searching Google, trying to find Jack some answers. Before Jack stopped coming to the group, he mentioned how he considered offing himself. None of his family cared about what his older brother did to him. He said he felt alone and he had a hard time focusing on work. When he missed a couple of the meetings online, someone mentioned that he deactivated his Facebook and wasn't responding on LinkedIn at all. I just hope Jack is okay. The 2 students who created this group talked a lot about the medical side of depression, etc. But they also talked about their own issues and pretty much showed that they are just like us. We all had one-on-one time with these guys and their professors who were licensed professionals. It helped me out a great deal. I went from beating myself up asking why me to understanding that this is just life as a human being. I need to survive. Okay, this road is blocked off. I need to make it to the other side if I want to continue. What tools can I use that I have on this side to help me? There's got to be something. Don't just give up. I think every day, well, I'm technically not fired. I'm laid off. They want to bring me back, which they did. What can I improve while I'm stuck in the apartment? Well, I can improve my health and work out more. The further we went into these online meetings, the happier the conversations got. We ended up talking about the great days we had or what fun we had on the weekend. We didn't dwell in the past anymore. You can't change what happened, so why allow it to hold you back? Everyone started to thrive. Everyone who had lost their jobs found new employment, and I was hired back, and things were on the up and up. I ended up leaving that job. I found a salary job that paid me a lot of money, plus bonuses. I'm still there today, thriving. I went from tall and skinny to tall and bulky, muscular. I lift often and I jog as well. I'm extremely happy. I have no complaints, no regrets. For those in the comments that say, what a wimp, he deserved it, yada yada. Man, I had to go through that to get to where I am today. I wish I was like you all at the time, but I just wasn't. I went through the fire and now I'm good. I'm so darn good, True Story. True Story again, thanks for sharing my story. I wish everyone in the comments the best. Take care, guys. And also remember, in this life, you're not punished. Life is just full of ups and downs. Wow, dude, I really appreciate you getting back to me that quick. Yeah, here's the thing, guys. Sometimes you guys will wonder, like, wow, I didn't know you were going to get to my email. And I probably should just go through and just reply to everybody, say I'm going to get to it. But That'll be a lot. Here's the thing. Okay, I jump around in the emails. Sometimes I look for something specific. So putting a subject is good, but sometimes I'm looking for something specific. Sometimes length could be a deciding factor. It just depends. So I jump around sometimes. It's not in chronological order. You know what? Maybe a week ago, I think I read a story that I hadn't read that was sent to me in 2023, and I don't remember the date. And another one this month, or this past month in May, I read one from 2022, guys, that I hadn't read. I make sure everything I haven't read, if I open it, I make sure I click unread because I know I didn't get to it. There's a lot of emails, guys. And there's new ones that come in too. So I jump around. So don't think your story is going to get forgotten about. It's not. And if you want, you guys can put priority in the subject if you really feel like, hey, I want to get this out now. You know, I'll do it. I'll do that. But guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments. If you want to send in a story, send it to truestorynation@gmail.com. Here, I'll put it on the screen. That's truestorynation@gmail.com. I'm going to catch you guys at the next one.